Chapter 23 Blue Entry, Jade Bone. You are listening at novelfull.audio. After a bit, the food just kept coming, like a never-ending stream. Soon, the place was filled with the smell of wine and roasted meat, and the whole restaurant was buzzing. A toast to brotherly, that it was Qin Yun, the Qin family's eldest daughter. She was a real looker, with delicate features and snow-white skin. Her voice was like a gentle stream, sweet enough to melt your heart. All right, Li Ming replied, accepting the cheers. Brotherly can really hold his liquor. Another round, but before long, Li Ming was still going strong, while half the Qin family kids were already slurring their words. Qin Yun's cheeks were flushed. Any normal guy would have a hard time keeping his cool around her. Li Ming was a little tipsy, but his head was clear, his true qi was flowing, his blood pumping, and the alcohol was sweating right out of him. The buzz faded fast, leaving him totally clear-headed. He figured he'd conditioned his body well. Strong qi, healthy blood, working on both his inner and outer self. He could probably drink all night and not even feel it. Seeing Qin Yun's state, Li Ming frowned and lightly tapped a few pressure points on her. It helped burn off some of the alcohol, and her color improved quickly. Once she'd sobered up a bit, Qin Yun gave Li Ming a long look, her eyes sparkling, clearly thinking something over. Li Ming focused and checked her character sheet. Name, Qin Yun. Realm, perfect qi training. Entries, making money, green, smart, green, water spirit body, green. Meticulous, white, music, white, knowing people's heart, white, kind heart, white. There was more to this beautiful woman than met the eye. She wasn't your average heiress. After all, she was the daughter of the Qin family head, and she'd held things together remarkably well while her father was out of commission, facing down plenty of arguments and pressure. She was definitely capable. Not only was she sharp in business, but she had some martial arts skills to boot. Qin Yun was also footing the bill for this feast as thanks for Li Ming taking out Bai Gui. Li Ming didn't want to refuse and make things awkward. Besides, you gotta enjoy life, right? Being a stick in the mud about good food was just plain dumb. He wasn't naive. She was obviously interested in making friends, and maybe more, as far as he knew. While Qin Yun was the eldest daughter, she was still just a junior member. With her father sidelined, other family members were naturally getting ambitious. Li Ming showing up had probably helped her out quite a bit, whether she admitted it or not. He understood Qin Yun's motives, and his plan was simple: enjoy the free food. It was damn good. When the party was over, Li Ming said his goodbyes and headed back to his place. That was a nice meal. Good food, pretty company, he muttered. He took off his outer robe, which reeked of alcohol. When he got to his bedroom, he found a steaming hot bath already drawn. Li Ming didn't think twice. He shut the door, stripped off his clothes, and sank into the tub. Ah, perfect. That he leaned back against the porcelain, closed his eyes, and let out a long breath. This was the life. These rich families really knew how to take care of you. No wonder they raised so many spoiled brats. Young master, would you like me to scrub your back? A maid's voice came through the door. No need. Li Ming said firmly. He was already pushing his own boundaries just by relaxing like this. Besides, women only slowed down his sword practice. He finished his bath in silence, handed the tub over to the maid, and returned to the bedroom. He pretended to pick up a book, but really he was checking his status screen. Name, Li Ming, 18 years old. Cultivation, 6th level of Qi training. Martial arts, the Xuanwu Sutra body training chapter, perfect. 3 Knives of the Wind, perfect. Yimu Zhengong Qi training chapter, minor success 80%. Qinglong Jiuzhuan knife, minor success 0%. Vajra body, minor success 40%. 8 steps to chase cicadas, minor success 40%. Shaking the mountain fist, minor success 0%. Fate, defying fate, gold, silver bones, green, intelligence, green, misfortune and fortune depend on each other, green, Qinmu body, green, sword and knife, green, running fast, green, 9 oxen and 2 tigers, green. Life energy, 12,000. 8 steps to chase cicadas and shaking the mountain fist were techniques he'd picked up from the blood bandits. The footwork was all about explosive power, perfect for short bursts and close combat. The mountain-shaking fist was a brutal, simple technique designed for guys with serious strength. Li Ming had both exceptional understanding and raw power, so he was mastering it at lightning speed. The life energy he'd earned from killing the bandits, combined with his interactions with the Qin family, had boosted him quite a bit. I'm probably not strong enough for this conference yet. Time to level up. This wealth distribution conference was crucial for him. There was little information about the participants or the rules. Every conference was different, but one thing was constant: strength was king. Silver bone. Upgrade, requires 10,000 life energy. Of course, it's never easy getting a blue entry. It takes more than 10 times the energy to get from green to blue than it does from white to green. Li Ming sighed and hit the button. He was loaded now, so he wasn't about to cheap out. Even so, this was still the cheapest blue entry to upgrade. Maybe it was because of all the body conditioning he'd done. Maybe his foundation was just exceptionally solid, or maybe his silver bone was already top tier among green entries, just one step away from blue. Other green entries needed way more juice to upgrade, thanks to the generosity of the 4 blood bandits and Bai Gui. Combined with his own hard work, he had plenty of energy to spare. Plus, his connections with the Lin family had given him an extra boost. The green glow faded, replaced by a dazzling blue light. Jade bone, blue, muscles and bones are like jade, allowing for continuous production of blood and qi. This is superior physical conditioning. Greatly improves the ability to practice body refining techniques. The body was your boat for navigating the world. No matter which sect you joined, physical conditioning was paramount. Regular folks needed to grind day and night, temper their blood and qi, and wash away impurities. Then you needed to ingest rare spiritual medicines, strengthen your bones, use blood and essence as fuel, and temper all 200+ bones to achieve superior results, like silver bone, jade bone, Tao bone, and sword bone. Of course, some people were born with sword bone, or Buddha bone. Those folks could practice special martial arts far beyond the reach of normal people. Li Ming's jade bone was a serious level up. Practicing related body refining techniques would be twice as effective and easy to master. Most people only started this kind of training after becoming masters. Only true geniuses could flex these powers when they were young. Rumor had it that some uncultivated folks were born with the ability to lift a giant tripod, pull 9 oxen backwards, or wrestle a tiger. Most likely, they had extraordinary bones. Li Ming shrugged. The boost wasn't as huge as he'd expected, but now his bones were probably as hard as black iron. Regular weapons probably couldn't even scratch him. If I get killed, they'll probably grind up my bones for weapons. Li Ming shivered. It wasn't a joke. The human race rarely did that kind of thing, but some of the other races, like the demon and dragon tribes, had powerful figures who used parts of their bodies to forge magic weapons while they were still alive. After they died, they'd turn into weapon spirits, protecting their people. Chapter 22, Easy Solution. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Who are you? You think you can just waltz in here and mess with the Lin family? Got a death wish or something? The Lin family, seeing Li Ming shake things up, started mouthing off. Li Ming sighed. Man, all I wanted was a decent meal, some good food. Wasn't looking for trouble, but all I found was a mess. And just so we're clear, every last one of you Lins is garbage. Li Ming's cocky words hung in the air. The younger Qin family members were practically starstruck. Dude, Li is awesome. The Lin family, though, was furious, spitting curses. Some nobody kid comes along and calls them all trash. How could they not be pissed? Lin Meng finally managed to dust himself off and get to his feet, simmering with rage. Hearing Li Ming's insult only fueled the fire. He figured he hadn't had a chance to really fight before, just got caught off guard by Li Ming's cheap shot, and snarled, "Alright, I'll admit you've got some moves, but you're way too cocky. You don't know what's good for you. I was just caught sleeping on the job." Cocky? I'm just stating facts. Is this some kind of world where you can't even tell the truth? Lin Meng actually laughed, but it was angry. Fine. Today, I'm gonna show you what happens when a little punk like you in the Qi training realm thinks he can call us garbage. Oh, really? Lin Meng was done with the talking. He snapped his arm back, like a spring coiled tight, his whole fist crackled with energy, bang. He threw the punch, like an arrow shot from a bow, his arms snapping straight, with a deafening whoosh, like it was going to obliterate everything in its path. The force of the punch hit first, before the punch itself. The punch could shatter stone. Lin Meng was clearly out for blood. He'd been holding back, only using physical strength. Now, he was aiming to beat Li Ming half to death, maybe even finish the job. A little cash would make it go away. After all, everyone in Sanyang City knew who the Lin family was. Who the hell was Li Ming? People died every day. Faced with the incoming punch, Li Ming smirked and didn't even flinch. Instead, he quietly activated his Vajra body. You're asking for it. Lin Ming grinned, a cruel glint in his eyes. He didn't care what trick Li Ming had up his sleeve to act so tough. All he knew was that this punch was packing almost his full strength. He'd killed Qi training fighters with less. The Lin family members were already picturing Li Ming getting blown away, blood splattering everywhere. The next second, Lin Meng's fist slammed into Li Ming's chest. Bang! The noise echoed through the area. Then came the sound of snapping bones and a scream. Aya! A howl of pain ripped from Lin Meng's throat. My hand, my right hand. The sight left everyone stunned. Even the Qin family members cringed, closing their eyes, not wanting to see the gore. Everyone was speechless, not believing what they just witnessed. No way. Lin Meng is a condensation realm master. That full power punch, and Li Ming just stood there and took it, not even moving an inch, completely unharmed. Meanwhile, Lin Meng, who had been so confident, was clutching his right hand and screaming his head off. When they saw the golden glow on Li Ming's chest, the penny dropped. He's been practicing some kind of body strengthening technique. No wonder he's got such a strong defense. How is that even possible? I've tried to refine my body too, but why is it so effective for him? Don't ask me. Li Ming ignored the shocked crowd and calmly looked at Lin Meng, who was trembling. Getting the picture. Looking at Li Ming, Lin Meng couldn't help but think of the geniuses on the Lin family list. He inexplicably felt more threatened by Li Ming. So, you gonna admit you're trash now? Li Ming's voice was like a devil's whisper, and Lin Meng's face twisted with fury. I didn't lose. You just got lucky with that body refining technique. I haven't even used my best sword moves yet. And you better hope you don't see what my Lin family will do to you. Lin Meng's sentence cut short. Li Ming had grabbed him by the throat, choking him. Through the gaps between Li Ming's fingers, Lin Meng stared into Li Ming's calm eyes, and felt his legs go weak. He tried to say something, but then, Li Ming flipped Lin Meng upside down, slamming his head into the ground. Got anything else to say? You, wait. Boom. Li Ming slammed him down again, and Lin Meng's face distorted as his head hit the ground. Want to add something else? You. Lin Meng was starting to lose it, saliva and blood pooling at the corners of his mouth. Hearing Li Ming's words, he didn't dare to speak. Li Ming let go. Lin Meng lay motionless on the ground. Finally, one of the Lin family kids cautiously dragged him away. Anyone else want to say something? Li Ming's voice boomed across the area. Several Lin family members looked down, silent. The Qin family was buzzing with excitement, especially Qin Lu, who had been injured, was suddenly bursting with energy. Cat got your tongue. What happened to all that trash talk? Looks like we found out who the real garbage is. Hearing Qin Lu's taunts, the Lin family members glared at them, but then they looked at Li Ming's face and felt a wave of fear. They'd wanted to yell something back, but seeing what happened to Lin Meng, they couldn't make a sound. Seeing Lin Meng's state and Li Ming's brutality, they had a ridiculous thought. Was this guy some kind of secret prodigy? It could explain their terrible defeat. The Lin family lost all of their confidence, and the courage to yell anything at all. They picked up Lin Meng and turned around and left. Without a backward glance, Li Ming felt a rush of life energy entering his body. This situation looks quite interesting. Back in the restaurant, Li Ming was surrounded, with everyone bombarding him with questions. Brotherly, how'd you get so good at refining your body? I just kinda did it. Brotherly, are you really just in the Qi training realm? Yep. Li Ming shrugged. You could be this powerful if you put in some effort and practiced really hard. Hearing Li Ming's words, the Qin family members looked like they'd just been injected with something, awestruck and filled with admiration. They were looking at a powerhouse. They all nodded in agreement. Some even declared they were going to practice for 2 extra hours a day. Li Ming was a little helpless. Enough about me. Let's order some food. Alright. Chapter 33, Focus on one point and reach the pinnacle. You are listening at NovelFull.audio. Dusk settled, arrows rained down on Li Ming, their tips glinting menacingly, like shooting stars piercing the night. Too bad for them, Li Ming wasn't just a cultivator who'd reached the Ninggang realm. His body was honed to perfection, his senses razor sharp. The instant he heard the air being sliced, his body moved on instinct. Thwack. Thwack. Immediately, 7 or 8 arrows either zipped past him, losing momentum as they flew off, or slammed into the trees beside him, sending branches and leaves shuddering. This was clearly a hit job. And the mastermind was obvious. The Zhao family. Ice-cold murder filled Li Ming's eyes. Anger boiled. He'd barely stepped out of 6 doors, hadn't even gone a few miles, and he was already getting ambushed. This was way out of line. Whoosh! Whoosh! Before Li Ming could even think straight, more arrows whistled through the darkness, heading straight for him. These arrows were smeared with something colorful. Who knew what kind of poison was on them? He kept dodging. Li Ming wasn't about to test his resistance to toxins. The risk of being exposed to some nasty poison was too high. Instead, he used Gang Qi to shield himself. He moved like a phantom, the arrows missing their mark again and again. The last 3 arrows in the volley were stopped cold by his protective aura. Li Ming realized that the attackers must be using something like crossbows, and even with fast reloading, there had to be a lull in their fire. He was in a window of opportunity. No need to charge in blind. They were prepared. Rushing in would be stupid. Li Ming took off in the opposite direction, moving so fast there was no way they could keep up. Swish! He'd barely gone 30 yards when a flash of silver erupted from the shadows. A figure was coming at him like a shot, the wind screaming around his fist. Li Ming reacted instantly. No holding back. He channeled his power and threw a punch, meeting the attacker head-on. Bang! Fists collided with a deafening crack. His opponent had the element of surprise, and he was wearing metal gloves that were clearly something special. Li Ming was thrown back a few steps. The attacker didn't fare much better, staggering back 4 or 5 paces. What the? The attacker was Zhao Hu, leader of the Snow Tiger gang. He'd been born with freakish strength, which got him noticed by the Zhao family head, who taught him martial arts and had a pair of fighting gloves made for him. Zhao Hu had lived up to the Zhao family's expectations, bringing all the gangs in Xianxia city under his control, making them practically untouchable. The Zhao family was rolling in dough, thanks to him. He'd been asked to take out Li Ming. He'd wanted to do it alone, but the Zhao family insisted on sending backup. Seeing Li Ming fight off his surprise attack and still come out on top, he knew immediately, this kid was tough. He yelled, "Surround him. Don't let him get away." Moments later, several men in black had him surrounded, eyes glinting with murderous intent. They wanted to make sure Li Ming didn't go on a rampage and kill them all. Zhao Hu glared at Li Ming and said calmly, "Li Ming, I'm giving you a chance. Join the Snow Tiger gang, become part of the Zhao family, and you'll live. You'll have a real shot at making something of yourself." "Okay, but I have one condition." "What's that?" "Your head." Li Ming was still talking when the knife in his hand flashed free. Qinglong 9-turn knife, dragon raises its head. A semicircular arc of pure killing intent exploded outward, aimed at cutting Zhao Hu in 2. The Qinglong 9-turn knife technique was a master-level martial art, perfect for channeling Gang Qi. And Li Ming was already at the 7th level of condensing Gang realm. He was unleashing the full potential of the blade. Imu Qinglong Gangqi, a 3rd-grade spirit weapon, and master-level swordsmanship, each one extraordinary. Having even one of those would make someone a force to be reckoned with. Combining them meant he could easily take down opponents stronger than himself. Not to mention Li Ming's foundations. Few could match them. Nice try, Zhao Hu roared with laughter. He never had any intention of recruiting Li Ming. He just wanted to get him to let his guard down so he could finish him. He hadn't expected Li Ming to strike first, he had been building his gang chi for years. It had become one with his own essence, his combat experience was vast, and he was wearing 6th-grade spirit weapon gloves, meticulously crafted at great expense. He was confident, Zhao Hu clenched his fingers and grabbed the blade with both hands. Clang, that the sound of metal on metal ripped through the air. Arg! Zhao Hu screamed in agony, the gloves he was so proud of shattered, if his protective gang chi hadn't blocked part of the blade, his hands would have been hacked off. How can this be? Li Ming wasn't swayed by Zhao Hu's screams, he seized the opportunity to strike again, this slash was light, calm, the violent sword energy was completely contained within the blade of the Yao Yu Dao. This was what the restrained property of this weapon was all about, Yao Yu Dao, rank, 3rd grade spirit weapon, properties, sharp, blue, indestructible, blue, restrained, blue. After reaching the Ning Gang realm, one can see the weapon properties and even add some advancement points. The effect of restrained was devastating, concentrate all your power, gather it, and unleash it at the perfect moment. This simple, unremarkable sword cut through Zhao Hu's body protecting energy like it wasn't there, the sword energy detonated. The knife fell like snow, a tiny line of blood appeared on Zhao Hu's neck, with a sickening thunk, his head fell off, blood spraying from the now empty neck. Killed Zhao Hu. Gained 3,500 life energy. Activating anti-fate, the other men in black stared in horror at the scene on the ground, faces white with fear. Zhao Hu, the Snow Tiger gang leader, was stronger than any of them, they were just hired muscle from the Zhao family, who were supposed to be taking out some kid in the Qi training realm, a sure thing. A piece of cake, they never expected this. He must have used everything he had for that last strike. Let's finish him off, one of the men in black yelled. Then, quietly, he started backing away, getting ready to run. His loyalty to the Zhao family was very flexible. Seeing Li Ming's brutality, his loyalty level plummeted, and he didn't want to die here. A Ning Gang realm warrior could get a job with any family. Why risk his life for the Zhao family? Of course, the others weren't stupid either. Li Ming had taken out Zhao Hu without breaking a sweat, whoever went after him was going to die, they still had a chance if they ran fast enough, but the slower they were, the more likely they were to end up dead. Don't kill me. I'll leave the Zhao family right now. Kill him. He's too slow. Unfortunately, they all had the same idea and scattered, exposing each other's weaknesses. Li Ming's power was way beyond ordinary, he was no slouch in the speed department either. Killed XXX. Gained 2,800 life energy. Activating anti-fate. Killed XXX. Gained 3,000 life energy. Activating anti-fate, the rewards temporarily soothed Li Ming's anger. The Zhao family may have been cruel and unjust this time, but they'd still been a big help to him. Chapter 34, The Cowardly Bandits Point Their Swords at the Zhao Family. You are listening at novelfull.audio. A few 2-bit thugs. Some lowlifes think they can take me. Guess my blade ain't sharp enough, or my sword's too slow. Li Ming surveyed the bodies on the ground, no mercy. No sympathy, his cold, murderous intent felt like a frigid blizzard. These Zhao family cronies were always causing trouble, bullying the innocent. Their deaths at his hands? Consider it a public service. This time, he pulled in 19,000 life energy points. Less than he'd hoped, but he could live with it. After all, the higher his cultivation, the smaller the gains became. His golden finger was pushing him to take on tougher opponents, not just slaughter the weak. Li Ming was okay with that. If he kept mowing down the weak, sure, he'd rake in the life energy. But he might not be able to control his bloodlust. Like, if stomping ants to death made you stronger, would you even hesitate? There were plenty of strong guys in this world who treated people like garbage anyway. Li Ming was down with killing those who deserved it, repaying evil with justice, and kindness with kindness, but if he started butchering innocent folks just for kicks, driven by some primal urge, he wouldn't be himself anymore. That would screw up his martial arts progress. Plain and simple. Available entries to seize: Mighty, White, strong, white. Swordsmanship, white, sentimental, white, promiscuous. White. Li Ming was drowning in options, then it hit him, picking the right entries, the ones that matter, will help me out. No downside. Li Ming knew his golden finger, this system-like thing, wasn't going to chat with him, but it had some basic smarts. A second later, Ming came back with suggestions, recommended entries to seize: strong, white, swordsmanship, white, immense strength, blue, boxing, white, leg techniques, white, palm techniques, white, finger techniques, white. Now we're talking. Li Ming snatched them all up, merging the ones that were similar. The bump to his strength stat was noticeable but nothing crazy. The 9 oxen and 2 tigers entry just got a shade darker, and the same thing happened to sword and blade mastery. Looks like the entries he snagged just reinforced his foundation, not enough to trigger some major leap and turn them blue, but to his surprise, the remaining entries all combined into one new one: physical skills. Blue, you're a natural at hand-to-hand combat. Your aptitude for all martial arts of this type has increased. This is a solid score. Li Ming nodded, pleased, and got to work cleaning up the mess. These guys had a lot of stuff on them, over 1,000 taels of silver notes, plus a few run-of-the-mill martial arts manuals, and a metal token. Found it on Zhao Hu. Had a green character etched on it. Green token? What's this thing? Something to do with the Green Demon Society, maybe. Li Ming glanced at the token, already piecing things together. He'd show it to his boss later. With that done, Li Ming hauled it back to see his boss, Lin Xianxia. This attack was so in your face, so many people involved. They were past the point of pretending. It didn't take him long. Li Ming was back at the Six Gates. He went straight for Lin Xianxia's office. As luck would have it, Lin Xianxia was still there. When he saw the blood all over Li Ming, his face turned serious. What happened? The Zhao family got spooked when I came back to Greenstone City. They sent some guys to take me out. As soon as I left the Six Gates, a gang ambushed me. But I took care of them. Li Ming kept it simple and told the truth. How could they? Lin Xianxia blew a gasket. He'd planned on doing things the right way. Sending a squad to the Zhao family, gathering evidence, building a case. He didn't expect them to try to shut him up for good. Boss, how about we just cut to the chase and take them down? Li Ming snorted. The Zhao family was out of control. Trying to whack him just a few miles from the Six Gates. He wouldn't bet the Six Gates was clean either. This time, though, when he went to see Lin Xianxia, he was careful to avoid prying eyes. Lin Xianxia mulled it over, then said, all right. This place needs to be cleaned up too. The Zhao family's been getting away with murder for years, hiding behind their money and the county magistrate. Time to stop playing nice. Lin Xianxia stood up and summoned every constable in the precinct, stone-faced. Everyone, with me. It was getting dark, almost quitting time. But the constables didn't dare question Lin Xianxia. They just nodded. Another big case. The constables speculated, and when they saw Li Ming standing behind the chief, they knew what was up. A few guys stared at the still-living Li Ming, shocked. Li Ming scanned the room, making a mental note of certain faces. Lin Xianxia gave the order. We're hitting the Zhao family. No screwing around. Anyone falls out of line, they'll regret it. He didn't waste any time explaining. Lin Xianxia led the squad straight toward the Zhao family's mansion. A few guys looked nervous, trying to slip away, but just as they were about to bolt, Li Ming barked. Where do you think you're going? His voice boomed like thunder. The constables turned white as sheets, their legs shaking. Lin Xianxia scowled and ordered a few other constables to arrest them. Who knows what those guys were up to? That little scene sent a chill through the rest of the constables. They knew this wasn't some drill. This thing wasn't going to end without a fight. They reached the Zhao family compound. Hold it right there. Who's causing trouble at the Zhao residence? With a roar, Zhao Changkong stepped forward, leaping high and landing gracefully in front of them, knife in hand, glaring at Lin Xianxia. Chief Lin, what's the meaning of this? What right do you have to surround my family's gate? Lin Xianxia smirked. Zhao Changkong, your family's run is over. You've been bullying and robbing people for too long. And now, you can't stop the search of your Zhao family. Your Zhao family is in cahoots with the Green Demon Society. Under the Great Xian Law, the Six Gates has the right to act with impunity. Anyone who interferes will be killed on the spot. Lin Qianqing used his internal energy to amplify his voice, making sure everyone heard him loud and clear. The Zhao family working with the Green Demon Society? Is that true? If the chief says so, it must be. The Zhao family's always been cozy with the county magistrate. Guess they needed someone to look the other way. Zhao Changkong watched the crowd murmuring, his face calm, gripping his knife and shouting. That's bull. My family's done nothing wrong. What would we gain by working with the Green Demon Society? You, Lin Qianqing, are slandering my family. I'm taking this to the magistrate. My family is not at your beck and call. Lin Qianqing, if you're trying to make a name for yourself, pick on someone else. Li Ming saw that Zhao Changkong was playing the victim, spinning lies like a top. A true family patriarch, his blame game was top-notch. Zhao Changkong's loyal followers unsheathed their weapons, standing behind him, ready to rumble. The Six Gates constables were right there with them, blades drawn. The situation was about to explode. Chapter 35, If I don't punish your Zhao family, it will be unjust. You are listening at NovelFull.audio. Zhao Changkong dug in his heels, yelling, "Did you even tell the county magistrate about this shindig? You're saying my family's in cahoots with the Green Demon Gang? Then let's drag our butts down to the magistrate's office and hash it out." Lin Qianqing stayed cool as a cucumber, firing back, "What kind of red tape you think we need to deal with you low-life demon lovers? And whether you like it or not, doesn't matter a hill of beans. You think your little Zhao clan can tell Daxuan what to do?" Lin Qianqing took a step forward, not a shred of hesitation in him. At that point, nothing the Zhao family could say mattered. They'd crossed the line when they ambushed Li Ming. The die was cast, the ruckus in front of the Zhao place drew a crowd, and folks were yakking away, a lot of them cheering him on. Seeing things weren't gonna simmer down, Zhao Changkong just scoffed. Then, out of nowhere, a bunch of Zhao family toughs popped up, brandishing swords and knives, glaring at the cops. An old fella in a green robe stepped out of the pack. Zhao Changkong's eyes flickered, and he mumbled, "How's it lookin'?" Truth was, there were some skeletons in the Zhao family closet. If they got a full-on search and some folks got spooked, they could unearth evidence that could get the whole family wiped out. He was just jawing to run out the clock, sending someone to the magistrate for backup. As long as they didn't find any rock-solid evidence, the Zhao clan would be golden under the magistrate's wing. After all, the Zhao family had put plenty of people in office and greased the magistrate's palm plenty of times. If he didn't have their back now, who'd be in his corner down the road? Butler Li's eyes turned cold, and he shook his head ever so slightly. Zhao Changkong frowned, realizing he was in a pickle. If the cops searched the place, they couldn't hide. "Zhao Changkong, stalling won't do you any good. Who do you think's gonna bail you out?" Lin Qianqing sneered. Every exit from the Zhao family compound was swarming with officers, and the magistrate? Someone was keeping him busy. Zhao Changkong gritted his teeth and said, "Mr. Lin, let's just call it water under the bridge. We haven't done anything to offend you, why are you coming down on us so hard?" "Haven't offended me? Ha! Zhao Changkong, you must be losing it. You really think I don't know you've been sending goons to take out my disciple, Li Ming? That alone's enough to nail you for attacking a law enforcement officer." Lin Qianqing scoffed. That slipped out, and you could see everyone turn to look at Li Ming. Li Ming saw the looks and said flatly, "The Zhao family's used to running roughshod over Xianxia city. You don't like someone, you just send them to the graveyard. Lord knows what else you've been up to. Well, karma's a bitch. Now that your house of cards is falling apart, guess it's my turn to tear it down. Call it divine intervention." Li Ming's gaze was cold and steady, didn't even flinch, ice in his veins, fire in his heart. "That's what you call a leader." Zhao Changkong sucked in a deep breath. He was carrying the weight of 100 Zhao family lives, plus everything his ancestors had built for 5 generations, and he sure as hell wasn't gonna lose it on his watch. "Mr. Lin, are you really gonna go this far? If Li Ming's willing to let it slide, the Zhao family'll make it worth your while. I just want this whole thing to blow over. Li Ming grinned. You gotta be kidding me. You old geezer's got a real sense of humor. You think you can just unring the bell? Zhao Changkong's face darkened, and he glared murder at Li Ming, decked out in his cop uniform. Li Ming paused, then chuckled. You, Zhao Jiaping, act all high and mighty, too good for the small-time stuff in Xianxia City. But you're secretly using the Snow Tiger gang to do your dirty work. Running casinos, peddling misery, forcing girls into the sex trade. One of your sons beat a street vendor to death over nothing, then paid off his parents with a few measly taels of silver to keep M quiet. And if they didn't take the hush money, you'd send the gang after M, strong-arming M into submission. And you, Zhao Changkong, you're even worse. You see a woman you like, you just have her snatched up to be your concubine. And if the victim goes to the magistrate, they get nowhere, just roughed up and sent home. And that's just the tip of the iceberg. Not to mention, I didn't play ball with your big deal and you sent someone to assassinate me. You're rich, powerful, and you throw your weight around. You can snuff out a life without breaking a sweat, leaving families in ruins. And now you think a few sweet words will make it all go away? I think you're the one who's lost his marbles. Maybe all that martial arts practice scrambled your brain. Hell, if you're so keen on it, why don't we just go at it, see who walks away? A fight to the finish. Li Ming stepped forward, drew his sword, and said calmly, if you got poison in your heart, you gotta purge it, or you'll never have peace. That's what the old-timers say. You think you can kill him with kindness? Nah, you meet evil with justice, and kindness with kindness. And let's be real, Li Ming ain't no saint. The Zhao family's been gunning for him. He's gotta hit back, how else is he gonna make it in the martial world? The crowd went wild when they heard Li Ming's smack talk. Folks held their breath, trying not to show their shock. Li Ming sure had a big mouth. And the reason Zhao Changkong bossed everyone around? His martial arts, of course. He might not be a grandmaster, but he was practically unbeatable. Name, Zhao Changkong. Realm, perfection. Entries, boxing crazy, martial bone, strong arms, no limits, brave, governance, commander. How dare you insult me and my family like that? Zhao Changkong's face was purple. All those years of lording over everyone, and now he looked like a fool. Nobody had ever dared to talk to him like that. Did he really not take him seriously? Thousands of thoughts flashed by, and they all boiled down to one thing: kill. He just needed to kill Li Ming, then, maybe there was a chance. You've gone too far, you little punk. Zhao Changkong's anger exploded in that one word, kill. Li Ming had trashed the Zhao family and ripped away all his dignity. Even if it meant killing a government official, Zhao Changkong had to erase this upstart, if only to save his own face. Boy, you're barely out of the beginner's stage. What makes you think you can stand toe-to-toe with me? Zhao Changkong slammed his foot onto the blue brick floor. Crack. Boom. The floor split like a spiderweb, radiating out from his foot. You could practically see the energy surging off him. Zhao Changkong was so consumed by anger, he didn't care about the details. That punch came fast and mean, like a thunderclap, heading right for Li Ming's indifferent face. A few feet meant nothing to a fighter like him. Whoosh. The wind whipped past his face. Felt like a razor blade. Perfect. Let's see how you handle this. Li Ming saw that Zhao Changkong had taken the bait, and he smirked. Divine power, unstoppable force, strength of 1,000 men. He had goaded the old man into a duel because he was ready for it. Chapter 36. The young man in fine clothes and on a fierce horse, angrily destroys the Zhao family. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Nice job. Li Ming stayed cool under pressure, clenching his fists. His muscles and bones crashed together like colliding gold and iron, unleashing an endless surge of power, supernatural power, Jade bone. Their true strength was now on full display, enhanced by these two boosts. Li Ming's power and energy became like a wild animal, a terrifying force far beyond what was normal for someone at his level. Boom. A massive shockwave exploded outwards, like a mountain collapsing. The entire front yard of the mansion swayed like a small boat in a storm. Fist met fist. The two figures collided. Roar. Large sections of the blue brick ground cracked and shattered. The area where they fought was soon covered in fissures. Dust flew everywhere, obscuring them from view. The other officers, who had originally intended to help, felt a chill and dared not approach. The Zhao family is out of control. Brotherly, that they could feel the raw energy pouring off the two combatants, an essence that made ordinary people fear to tread near. Lin Qianqing watched intently. Good. Lin Qianqing spoke a single word. The dust settled. A voice rang out. That's all there is to it. Everyone saw Zhao Changkong's body launched like a cannonball, smashing into the wall. Despite Zhao Changkong's experience, his fury, and the fact that he was still a force to be reckoned with, he was so easily defeated by someone just starting out. How is this possible? He took on someone at the peak of their power when he was just starting out, and now he's one-shotting people. Is this guy a martial arts prodigy or what? That the officers and guards alike couldn't believe what they were seeing. His strength is unmatched, and his physical body is comparable to a master's. Lin Qianqing smiled. Zhao Changkong was the one who took it the hardest. He was pinned to the wall, his back scraping against the rough brick, leaving him bloodied and battered. His energy was completely shattered. A total defeat. He had held nothing back in his attack. How could he be outmatched by a young upstart? What have I been chasing all these years? Zhao Changkong muttered, his eyes glazed over. He had once been a martial arts prodigy himself, which was how he rose to lead the Zhao family, but he had stalled in his progress, losing his ambition over time. All he wanted was to expand his family's power and leave his mark on history. Now, after this defeat, he finally understood what he was at his core, a warrior. It was a realization that came too late. He recalled Li Ming's disdainful look, and blood surged in his chest. He coughed up a mouthful of blood and pieces of internal organs. The kid's power was terrifying. He had believed his own strength was enough. While he wasn't as strong as he used to be, he shouldn't have been challenged by someone so young. Was he really just old and out of touch? Killed Zhao Changkong. Gained 5,000 life energy. Fate reversal activated. Rewards can be claimed. Li Ming stood tall, the wind whipping through his hair, his eyes sharp, a sword at his hip and on his back. He was the picture of a young hero on the rise. He had taken down Zhao Changkong with a single punch, a sweet revenge. Li Ming had instantly become a legend in Xianxia city. Everyone here has seen it. Zhao Changkong was exposed and tried to attack the police. He's a traitor. And the Zhao family is colluding with criminals. They deserve to be wiped out. Li Ming's words cut like a knife, intimidating the Zhao family's remaining supporters. Lin Qianqing added, the Zhao family defied a police investigation and resisted arrest. Zhao Changkong may be dead, but the Zhao family still needs to pay for its crimes. Li Ming, I order you to lead a search for evidence. Anyone who resists is to be killed on sight. Yes. Li Ming responded with unwavering confidence. This was a game changer. The crowd buzzed, but everyone agreed on one thing: the Zhao family was finished. Lin Qianqing had signed their death warrant with just a few words. The Zhao family's old caretaker vomited blood and cried, "Where's the county magistrate? Why isn't he coming to help us?" With Zhao Changkong gone, the Zhao family's warriors fell quickly to the officers. Some died trying to flee, while others begged for mercy. The Zhao family was doomed. Even if no evidence was found, the officers were now set on destroying them. They had burned their bridges with the Zhaos, so they had to finish the job, and some had an eye on the Zhao family's fortune. The Zhao family controlled most of the city's underworld, and also owned many businesses. They all wanted a piece of the pie. Following Li Ming's orders, the officers swarmed the Zhao estate like wolves. Li Ming entered the Zhao residence, killed several Zhao family members who resisted, but none of them dropped anything good. Then, he saw a familiar face. He approached. It was Zhao Yuwei, the one who had tried to make his life miserable. The young master was no longer the arrogant figure he once was. Not long ago, he had been waiting for news of Li Ming's death. When he heard the commotion, he hadn't paid attention at first, but then he saw police officers flooding the mansion, and realized things had changed. He walked outside, saw everyone being killed, and panicked. He dropped his weapon and knelt, his face filled with terror. Well, if it isn't Mr. Zhao. How the mighty have fallen. Hearing the mocking tone, Zhao Yue looked up, and saw the face he hated most. Li Ming. Zhao Yue glared at Li Ming. Don't look at me like that, like I owe you money. You're. Of course I am, Li Ming said with a smile. Ugh. Zhao Yue gasped, his eyes fixed on Li Ming. He was furious. In his mind, Li Ming was just a nobody, but he was acting like he was better than him. He still didn't realize that the Zhao family's downfall was all because of his vendetta against Li Ming. Seeing Zhao Yue like this, Li Ming's desire for revenge faded. After defeating Zhao Changkong, he had moved past these petty squabbles. Today, he was confident he could destroy the Zhao family on his own. Zhao Yue was beneath him. Soon, the officers bound Zhao Yue in chains and dragged him away. As he was being taken away, Zhao Yue turned and yelled, "My brother will avenge us. You'll pay for this." Li Ming just smiled and said, "I'll make sure your family is reunited soon. Don't mention it, I'm not a nice guy." Chapter 37 Processing and Reporting. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Early the next morning, a group of detectives waited at Li Ming's door, ready for orders. The teahouses and bars nearby were already packed. The scale of the operation had the locals on edge, especially the petty criminals who feared they were the real targets and huddled together in fear. Old Wang, an 18-year-old in the Ning gang realm. Seriously? Is this kid really the top dog in Bluestone City? Does that even need asking? Use your head for once. He just entered the Ning gang realm and already took down Zhao Changkong, who's been a big shot for years. How many people in all of Zhangzhou can match that? No wonder the chief catcher's so impressed. Looks like Bluestone City has another dark horse. Word had gotten around about the Zhao family's ties to the Green Demon Society, and the incriminating evidence in their ledger couldn't be ignored. After some persuasion, the Zhao family coughed up a ton of dirt, leading to their downfall and the seizure of their assets. Li Ming got the job of leading the house raid. The officers and head catchers, all in their 20s and 30s, were there to follow his lead as they prepared to raid the Zhao estate. While these veterans, who'd been stuck in Lumen for years, weren't martial arts masters, they knew how to read people and play the game, skills that rivaled even the court officials. Even if Li Ming left Bluestone City, they didn't want to be on his bad side. Plus, a successful raid meant a share of the spoils, right? Soon after, Li Ming finished getting ready. He tied his hair, donned his fancy Feiyun uniform, strapped on his third-grade spiritual weapon, the Yaoyu Dao, and slung another, unknown sword across his back. He walked out of the house with an easy confidence, his sharp features and lean build honed by recent training. He had an aura about him that made people think twice before meeting his gaze. Looking good, brother Li. You're even more impressive than before, Lin Ping complimented. Ease up, brother Ping. This raid's going to be a lot of work for you guys. Li Ming replied. Lin Ping's training had really paid off, and he'd already reached the 5th level of Qi cultivation. Li Ming could tell he'd been putting in the hours. Good job, Li Ming thought. Then he turned to the group and said, since everyone's here, let's take care of the Zhao family. It's daylight. Time to start the raid. One of the officers, spotting Li Ming in his white robes and black sword, knew the boss had arrived. He straightened up and called out, "Greetings, Mr. Li," that the voices of dozens of men boomed, rattling the rooftops. Shopkeepers peeked from behind their stalls, wondering how they'd missed Li Ming's rise to power. Li Ming returned the salute, amused. The scene felt like a gang initiation. He gave a few quick instructions and assigned tasks. The detectives split into groups and headed for the Zhao family's holdings. The Zhao family had been a force in Bluestone City for centuries. Their empire was sprawling, and they had properties all over, private residences, restaurants, shops. Raiding them all would be a marathon, *raidathon, **. It's a skill and a workout, *. I didn't realize this small city had so many landlords, Li Ming said, feeling a pang of resentment towards the wealthy. After all, he was an elite cop with a good education who was still stuck in a dump in the bad part of town. These guys were living the high life. If you're gonna raid a house, go big or go home, Lin Ping reported. Everyone in the Zhao family, except Zhao Changkong's son, Zhao Yukai, has confessed. Those with a history of serious crimes will face the death penalty. The others will be sent to the border. Zhao Yukai, the only one who got away, joined the Qingyun sword sect in Sangzhou years ago. He's rumored to be one of their top disciples. He wasn't at the Zhao residence, so we don't know where he is in Sangzhou. Li Ming paused. In that case, put out a warrant and notify our superiors. Send a letter to the Qingyun sword sect. He understood the need to eliminate threats completely, but he didn't want to waste time chasing this guy down. Going directly to the Qingyun sword sect would be pointless. As one of their top students, he'd be protected by his teachers and fellow disciples. At least have the paperwork to show them. They might not do anything, but at least you tried. Still, if he had a grudge, the guy would likely come after Li Ming personally. Li Ming reviewed the raid inventory. The Zhao family had hoarded nearly 10,000 taels of silver, jewelry, artwork, and cultivation elixirs, along with a pile of property deeds. After handing over the bulk of the loot, Li Ming divided some of the remaining items amongst the team, keeping some tonics and elixirs for himself. These seemingly small items were the real treasures, things that money couldn't buy. The Zhao family's century-old fortune was now benefiting Li Ming. He couldn't help but smile. Now I get why the cops were so eager for this raid. It's a chance to get rich. Scraping off the top of the Zhao family's wealth was enough to boost a warrior's training for years. He imagined the massive sects with tens of thousands of servants, evading taxes, grabbing land, hoarding resources. If I were Emperor Daxuan, I'd be tempted to take them down. But he knew those ancient sects were still standing for a reason: power. He also knew about the lips and teeth relationship. Even a power like Daxuan wouldn't mess with them lightly. Having taken stock of his rewards, Li Ming went to the chief's office to report on the raid. Lin Qianqing listened, nodding. To survive in this world, you had to be decisive and quick to retaliate. The world might be full of kindness, but the best defense was offense. Reputation came from taking lives. Lin Qianqing was beaming. This is enough to get you promoted to silver medal agent. And if you're interested, I could get you a position in the state city. Before he could finish, his eyes narrowed as he glanced to the left. Figures were approaching. Chapter 38, Touring on Behalf of the Heavenly Being. You are listening at novelfull.audio. The leader had a stern face but looked young. His entourage, clad in uniform black outfits with strange embroidered patterns, carried various weapons. Everyone's cultivation was at the Ninggang realm, but the leader's stats surprised Li Ming even more. Name: Baijian. Realm: 6th grade golden pill, 4th level. Entry: Sword Fool, green, martial bones, green, killing like Ma, white, fierceness, white, selflessness, white, power, white. A martial arts master. And a 6th grade golden elixir user. Their identities were about to be revealed. They were from the Sky Patrol Division. Lin Qianli spoke immediately. My disciple, this is Baijian, the new Sky Patrol officer assigned to Cangyang County. These men are experts from the Tianxian Division. They were instrumental in stopping the county magistrate's troops this time. Li Ming quickly clasped his hands in a gesture of respect. Thanks to the Sky Patrol Division for your help. The Tianxian Division was even more ruthless than the Six Gates, known for ransacking homes and exterminating entire families. Its members were all elite warriors, entry required being at least at the Ninggang realm. Only masters of that level could join. As an agency reporting directly to Emperor Daxuan, its headquarters were in Xuandu City. They handled major cases across multiple provinces and tracked down demonic organizations. Li Ming knew that the Green Demon Society's influence stretched across several provinces. Often, the Xianxia division would send special envoys to investigate, with local Six Gates providing assistance. Credit was shared between the two agencies, thus, the Six Gates and Xianxia division had a relationship of both cooperation and competition. Conflict sometimes arose over jurisdiction, but more often than not, they worked together. After all, these demonic organizations were a plague. If they were allowed to run rampant, both the Six Gates and the Xianxia division would be held accountable. Zhao got straight to the point. We're here to track down a branch of the Green Demon Society hiding in Cangzhou. We witnessed your abilities, Captain Li. If you weren't Master Lin's apprentice, I'd be trying to recruit you for the Sky Patrol Division myself. Lin Qianqing scoffed. My Six Gates are just as good as your Xianxia division. Don't even think about poaching my apprentice, Zhao. Zhao chuckled. We're all working for Daxuan. It shouldn't matter where we serve. Then, he turned serious. We're here to hunt down the Green Demon Society. We hope we can count on your cooperation, Captain Li. What's your stance on these Green Demon Society demons? That they had been pursuing the Green Demon Society, but the trail vanished in Sangyang County. Their initial plan had failed, and they were frustrated. Zhao had worked with Lin Qianqing before. He received a tip about the Zhao family's possible collusion with the Green Demon Society and didn't want to let it slip away. Exterminate them all. A flash of murderous intent crossed Li Ming's eyes. He had read countless files detailing the Green Demon Society's atrocities. They often took in children and beggars, then mutilated them, gouging out their eyes, cutting off their tongues, harvesting their organs, and draining their blood to make human blood elixirs. Survivors were sold to traffickers to beg for money. The most talented were sold back to the Green Demon Society for a high price. Such people were worse than animals. Hearing such a decisive answer, Zhao nodded, looking even more pleased. Li Ming paused for a moment. This information is based on conjecture. I can't confirm its accuracy. But it doesn't matter. If my hunch is right, they may be hiding in Baiyun Temple, near Qingshi City in Sangyang County. Baiyun Temple. Zhao frowned slightly. He had familiarized himself with the local powers when he came to Sangyang County. While Buddhism was popular in Nanyan Kingdom, it wasn't in Daxuan. He knew of Baiyun Temple as a rare force with a master-level leader that had always been stable and peaceful. What makes you think that if Li Ming hadn't told him this, he would have thought the other party was trying to trick him into assassinating someone? It's based on Zhao family confessions and clues in their correspondence. Li Ming was prepared. Even if the Xianxia division hadn't arrived, he would have investigated himself. During questioning of the Zhao family, a common detail emerged. Everyone they dealt with was completely covered, especially their heads. Also, the transfer points were always near Baiyun Temple, forming a closed loop. Most importantly, he discovered that many warriors who visited Baiyun Temple to offer incense had disappeared. He also learned that the abbot of Baiyun Temple had been in seclusion for years and the current caretaker was an outsider. The greatest secrets are hidden in plain sight. He believed the Green Demon Society had slaughtered the original monks and was using the temple as a front. Who would suspect demons were hiding in a Buddhist temple? He was 50% sure something was amiss at Baiyun Temple. It could be a Green Demon Society base, but they needed evidence to make arrests and build a case. Buddhist forces were strong here. Baiyun Temple had influential backers. The previous abbot was a respected monk who had come from Nanyan Kingdom to preach. His cultivation was profound, and his dharma was remarkable. His reputation was excellent. A rash move could spark public outrage. Zhao listened intently, his eyes scanning Li Ming with appreciation. It was a novel idea, not far-fetched, but it highlighted a blind spot in their investigation. They had only considered the Green Demon Society hiding in remote, underground locations. Zhao nodded. You're right, Baiyun Temple is suspicious. Better to be safe than sorry. But we can't convict them based on speculation. Li Ming said calmly, we have to act fast, before they catch wind of us and flee. The Green Demon Society has survived for years. Their secrets are interwoven like a network throughout Sangyang County. I'll go to Baiyun Temple myself and see what I can find. Even if it's a den of evil, I'm confident I can escape. Li Ming clenched his fists, his eyes shining with determination. Everyone had the duty to punish a demonic cult like the Green Demon Society. Li Ming found it easier to justify gaining life energy when dealing with such scum. He was taking action personally to resolve the matter quickly. The Sky Patrol officers might have already blown their cover. If they went to Baiyan Temple, they might not find anything. The enemy would be alerted and could withdraw. He believed his strength was adequate. Even if he encountered a powerful master, he could escape. Hearing Li Ming's offer, Lin Qianqing's face was solemn, but he slowly nodded. Let Lin Ping go with you. It's time he got some experience. Li Ming looked surprised but didn't argue. Lin Qianqing seemed set on it. After all, this wasn't an open raid, but a covert investigation. With caution, they should be fine. Bai Zhan knew the pros and cons. If you find anything, let us know immediately. He bowed silently. His willingness to risk himself for the greater good was courageous and chivalrous. The young detective deserved his respect. Okay, I'll leave tomorrow. I need to prepare today. Li Ming wasn't aware of Bai Zhan's admiration. His eagerness to destroy the Green Demon Society was motivated by life energy, earning merit to advance, and delivering justice to the unjustly killed. It was hard to separate these motives. He wasn't from this world. Turning a blind eye to such evils was difficult. Chapter 39, The True Meaning of Wind. Riding the wind and controlling the air is like a fairy. You are listening at NovelFull.audio. Li Ming headed home, feeling lighter than air. Taking down the Zhao family felt like a personal upgrade, and the best part. He was flush with cash again. He'd made a serious dent in the Zhao family's life energy stores. Surprisingly, he hadn't needed as much as he thought, thanks to his increased power, but every little bit helped, and it added up to a sweet score. He had nearly 55,000 units of life energy. He'd never had a payday like this. The Zhao family was practically a charity organization. Going to White Cloud Temple was definitely risky. With this kind of dough, why hold back? He planned to level up 2 entries at once. Li Ming's eyes lit up as a plan formed in his mind. Aoki body. Swift as the wind. Activate. Li Ming burned through 40,000 life energy, triggering 2 bursts of blue light. Imu's spirit body. Blue. Innate connection to countless meridians, absorbing the wisdom of nature, automatically strengthening internal organs and bones. Your spirit body is still in its nascent form. Wind Chaser. Blue. As dragons ride the clouds and tigers stalk the wind, you intuitively grasp the world's changes. Your senses are heightened, and you possess incredible natural aptitude for martial arts. Both of these blue entries are gold. Li Ming focused, feeling the changes in his body. Those with spiritual bodies were basically nature's chosen ones, rare as hen's teeth, and the Imu's spirit body was pretty high up there in the spirit body rankings. He wouldn't even have to breathe in spiritual energy. It would just naturally gravitate towards him. If he'd been born with this physique, he wouldn't have started as a lowly constable. Every divine hunter would be lining up to take him on as a disciple. The best part was how perfectly this physique suited him. He could feel the Imu Azure Dragon Chi surging, easier to control than ever. He'd expected a boost to his cultivation talent, but he hadn't anticipated this raw power upgrade. Li Ming was pleasantly surprised. As for Wind Chaser, Li Ming closed his eyes, sensing the air currents swirling around him. He could practically see their speed and direction. It was like nature itself was tugging at him. He felt like he could take flight right then and there. I am the wind, the clouds, the world. Li Ming was lost in the moment, feeling himself merge with his surroundings. His feet started moving on their own, walking felt like floating, silent as a shadow. He covered 10 paces in a heartbeat, leaving only afterimages. A moment later, obtained special entry, the essence of wind. The system notification snapped Li Ming back to reality. He'd unexpectedly snagged a derivative entry, the essence of wind, green, the seed of understanding the essence of wind. Those who grasp this concept will be blessed by the power of wind. This was only a prototype, but even though he didn't specialize in wind-based martial arts, it was still a huge boost. His movements would be naturally faster and stronger than anyone else's. Alright, no more Mr. Humble. Turns out I am a genius. Li Ming was ecstatic. Wind Chaser had unlocked a whole new level of understanding. He'd skimmed through a bunch of movement techniques he'd picked up from his kills, and now, he'd suddenly mastered them, weaving them into a new style. I'll call it riding the wind, controlling the air. Li Ming considered his new movement technique. It wasn't master level, but it was top tier among lower third grade techniques. It had the explosive speed of the 8-step cicada, but with added flexibility, endurance, and stealth. He might even earn himself the nickname God of the Wind someday. After getting completely comfortable with his new abilities, Li Ming opened his status panel. Name, Li Ming, 18 years old. Cultivation, 4th level of condensation. Entries, Destiny, Gold, Jade Bones, Blue, Divine Strength, Blue, Emu Spirit Body, Blue, Wind Chaser, Blue, Swordsmanship, Green, Wisdom, Green, Fortune and Misfortune, Green, Footwork, Green, The Essence of Wind, Green, Iron Fist, Green. 1 gold, 4 blues, and 6 greens. Yeah, I'd say I'm a genius. But he needed to keep a low profile, for obvious reasons. Explaining it all would be a pain. Li Ming pushed aside the distractions and went to sleep. The night passed quietly. White Cloud Temple, the peaks here were steep and imposing, twisted pines clung to the cliffs, clear springs trickled down the rocks, and birds flitted through the air, their songs barely audible. Perched at the mountain's peak was a simple, ancient temple. It used to be a popular tourist spot. Li Ming surveyed the temple grounds, then calmly entered the temple. Something about this place felt familiar. His predecessor had passed through here before. Back then, White Cloud Temple was booming, packed with pilgrims burning incense and seeking blessings. But now, the place was practically deserted. Lin Ping said. I asked around. Apparently, White Cloud Temple sent out a bunch of monks on some kind of missionary tour. They're not even taking in new novices anymore. Wealthy families used to send their kids here to learn martial arts, but that opportunity's gone. Now, nobody really bothers with the temple. Who are you guys? Li Ming and Lin Ping were chatting as they walked in when a young, clean-shaven monk approached them, hands clasped in prayer. His eyes, however, held a wary glint. We're here to burn incense and pay our respects, Li Ming said calmly. The young monk seemed surprised but quickly smiled and said, the main hall is just ahead. Please, proceed. Thank you. Li Ming nodded. He took a quick look at the monk's status panel but didn't see anything out of the ordinary. The young monk nodded and turned away, leaving them alone. Let's go. Li Ming scanned the temple, taking in every detail as he and Lin Ping strolled around. They acted like ordinary tourists. White Cloud Temple was large, with many halls and courtyards. The air was thick with the smell of incense. Li Ming frowned. Maybe it was his imagination, but everything felt ominous. He kept his eyes open, memorizing the layout and surroundings. When they reached the main hall, they found an old monk standing in the center, staring at them blankly. A few pilgrims were worshipping the large Buddha statue. Li Ming noticed that the statue was covered in dust, like it hadn't been cleaned in ages. Donor, would you like to offer incense? A gaunt-faced, middle-aged monk approached Li Ming, his voice flat. Yes. Please. Li Ming's expression didn't change as he walked forward and placed burning incense in the burner without kneeling. Even if there was a real Buddha, he wouldn't be paying attention. Did Buddha even care about the mortal world? Li Ming believed that martial arts was a path of self-reliance, not dependence on gods. Lin Ping and Li Ming finished paying their respects and left the main hall. They wandered through the temple grounds. They spotted a young novice with delicate features and an energetic aura, a stark contrast to the worn-out monks. Li Ming approached him and asked, "Excuse me, young master, could I ask you something?" The young novice looked surprised, then replied, "Of course. I'll answer whatever I can." Li Ming asked casually, "I haven't seen the abbot around. Where is he? I'd like to pay my respects." As he spoke, he watched the little novice closely, observing his reaction. The abbot. The young novice looked embarrassed. "I'm new to White Cloud Temple. I heard the abbot has been in seclusion for years." Seclusion? Li Ming's eyes narrowed slightly. Where is he in seclusion? Hasn't anyone visited him in all this time? The abbot's retreat is a secret. Only a few people know the location to avoid disturbing him. Abbot Mingji is in charge of the temple's affairs now. The young novice replied promptly. I see, Li Ming waved his hand dismissively. Are there any forbidden areas in White Cloud Temple? I wouldn't want to wander in by accident. The little novice scratched his head and thought for a moment. I heard from the monks that the back hall is considered a dirty place. They say something evil is sealed there. The donor shouldn't go there to avoid bad luck. Li Ming nodded, pretending to understand, but something felt off. To avoid raising suspicion, Li Ming acted indifferent, secretly resolving to explore the back hall later. Chapter 40 Showdown. You are listening at NovelFull.audio. At Li Ming's signal, Lin Ping headed to the main hall to distract the monks. Li Ming, staying cool, used his stealth skills to approach the apse. Reaching the apse, he saw a high wall separating it from the main hall. The wall was about 10 feet tall and coated with a smooth powder, making it hard to climb. But it was no sweat for Li Ming. He leaped over the wall and dropped to the ground. There was a weird smell in the air. Li Ming, super sensitive to smells, realized there was more than just sandalwood. Was it meant to cover up something else? He started searching for the strongest source of the sandalwood. He soon reached the door of a hall. This temple looked unremarkable, no plaque or anything, like an abandoned old place. After checking for traps, Li Ming walked in, his expression calm. Then his calm vanished. The temple was full of sandalwood coffins, all unsealed. Corpses were displayed inside, all dressed in monk robes, heads shaved clean. They were definitely monks. Li Ming stared at the coffins, recognizing them as specially made magical items, designed to preserve the bodies. An idea hit him, and he looked at the corpse panels. Refining corpse. Entry, indestructible body, green, strong power, white, bloodthirsty, gray, evil spirit, gray, stiffness, gray, walking dead, gray. Seeing those gray entries, he started to get the picture. Looks like these Green Demon Society guys didn't just take over, they killed all the masters and reanimated them. Walking among the coffins, Li Ming saw almost all monks. Only 7 or 8 were shrouded in black robes. Not wanting to cause a stir, he didn't do anything rash, so, those monks and martial artists were turned into corpses, seriously twisted. But what happened to the people who died for nothing? Li's fate was unknown. Better get out of here. Now that he'd found this weird place, he could be sure it was inside Baiyun Temple. There's definitely a big bad hiding here. Even if he's not Green Demon Society, he's probably connected. After a bit, Li Ming slipped away. He needed to grab Lin Ping and get out of there before they tipped anyone off. Li Ming stated firmly, we need to head back to Xianxia City right now. Something's definitely up with Baiyun Temple. Lin Ping didn't argue. Okay. Bro, be careful. I'll get reinforcements. Don't do anything stupid. Got it. The Green Demon Society could take over a temple with a powerful master. Who knows how many other badasses they have hidden. Li Ming wasn't about to go charging in. He rested at an inn at the foot of the mountain, waiting for backup. In the back hall of Baiyun Temple, a monk in gray robes entered a secret passage. Emerging from the tunnel, he found a blood pool several feet wide. Several people stood around it, looking excited at the stinky pool. In the center of the pool was an altar, carved with patterns that led to a groove, which was filled with blood. Something was being grown there. The gray-robed monk at the front looked hyped up. Boss, how much longer until you come out? Men in black robes and devil masks stood behind him, looking respectful. After a pause, a raspy voice came from the blood pool. Akechi, the 4 evil ghosts, you've done well. When I've fully mastered this blood corpse divine art, I'll make it worth your while. It's an honor to serve, boss. Akechi declared. Ha ha ha. Akechi, I knew I could count on you. Don't worry, you'll get what's coming to you. Soon, I'll be unstoppable. Deep in the pool, a burly figure laughed wildly. He and the wise monk had caught the old abbot off guard, but the old monk's last stand had messed him up. He was seriously injured and had to hide here to recover. Once he was healed, he started practicing the blood sea technique. It wasn't easy. He had to stay in this blood pool, use the altar to attract evil energy, and drink blood every day to stay energized. Thank you, boss. Akechi said, excited. He was about to become a master. That's why he betrayed the abbot, wasn't it? Suddenly, someone rushed in, knelt, and shouted, Boss, dozens of armed people are coming up the mountain. They look like they're from Six Gates. Dakechi looked confused. How is that possible? How did they get busted? He didn't care about the fall of the Zhao family. Families rise and fall all the time, and the Green Demon Society has plenty of connections. The guy in the blood pool was scared and pissed. He was about to perfect his magic, and couldn't afford any mistakes. Stop them. Now. Don't let anyone mess with my practice. Kill them all and bury the news. I'll send zombies to help you. The four evil ghosts said, yes. Dakechi replied, don't worry, boss. I won't let these cops mess with you. The guy in the blood pool was quiet for a second. Don't expose this place, or you're dead. All these years of work couldn't be wasted. These people were just pawns. He controlled them, and betrayal meant a fate worse than death. Soon, everyone left, only the sound of bubbling was left. At the mountain gate of Baiyun Temple, Chief Inspector Lin Qianqing led dozens of agents and surrounded the entrance. Shocked believers scattered. Six Gates is searching for Green Demon Society scum. Anyone who gets in the way dies. Lin Qianqing announced coldly. The shout echoed through Baiyun Temple. Some clueless monks trembled, others looked terrified, some were fooled, and some helped the bad guys. Those who resisted were already dead. Why disturb this holy place? One monk asked, confused, but Lin Qianqing didn't get a chance to answer. Why are you searching for Green Demon Society here at my Baiyun Temple? A loud voice came from behind the monks. A middle-aged monk in gray robes pushed through the crowd, his face blank. I have proof. A member of the Blue Demon Society is hiding in Baiyun Temple. If you don't let me search, I'm ordering a bloodbath. Lin Qianqing announced. Mingji knew this was bad news, his face changing. He glanced at the cop, then sneered, then you're not leaving. The wise monk shouted, kill. 4 men in black robes leaped out of Baiyun Temple, and landed next to Mingji. They moved as one, wearing black robes and evil ghost masks, showing only dead white eyes. Lin Qianqing frowned, recognizing them. They were famous wandering warriors, all having reached the perfect condensation realm and masters of combined attacks. They could hold their own against masters. Looks like the Green Demon Society had recruited them, or maybe they were members all along. Li Ming's eyes narrowed, the other side was just admitting it. Last time, he'd only seen a little of Baiyun Temple, and hadn't dug deep, but now, with just a little pressure, they were breaking. He didn't know why, but he knew one thing for sure, the Green Demon Society was powerful. The 5 leaders were all at the perfect level of Ning Gang realm, combined with the disciples, they'd crush them. Looks like their plan was simple. Don't let anyone live, but they naturally had more than this power.